pulls off the Zippo bail bond sign, and that's another team.
I'm back. Road Trans for Black and White Sports. We're going to talk about 2 XFL items. Look, I thought y'all would appreciate, in light of the main topic today, the XFL's looking to add corporate sponsorship. And I immediately thought of Major League 2 and all the ads on the side of the wall, on the side of the outfield wall. If you need a good proctologist, and I looked for that clip and I could not find it. It's nowhere to be found. The proctology clip. I wanted to use it. All right, 2 lots of news. Number 1, let's talk about attendance and ratings. The ABC game drew a 1.558. The Fox game did real well, 1.802. FS1, 1.113. ESPN2, 1.030. I wish like hell both the Saturday and Sunday games were on broadcast TV because I think that would help the ratings a lot. It's going to be interesting to see this week there is a primetime ESPN game. Not ESPN2, ESPN. Okay? And you can expect, there was an 8% change between Game 2 Sunday last week versus this week. All right, now I can't remember if FS1, I think FS1 had the previous second game. The attendance was also down 14%, 70,224. Here is some context for that. Seattle did not have a home game. Okay? So that's your missing 14%. No kidding. Seattle did not have a home game. And if I'm being completely objective here, that 18,332 in Dallas, 1,500 of those fans were Houston Roughneck fans that got a season ticket package that included the Dallas game, and they drove up from Houston to go to that game. And you may be like, well, why are you bringing that up? Because if they're playing New York or St. Louis, you can't expect that extra 1,500 fans, okay? They play interstate, sure. So really and truly, you're looking at a crowd of more of about 16,800, which is still pretty good, okay? We try to be positive on this channel about the XFL. I'm rooting for the league, but I'm going to be objective about it too. All right, if I see an issue, I'm going to bring it up. Okay, we want the league to survive, but we got to be realistic about certain aspects of its survival. Okay. Now, like the quarterback play needs to get better. Simple. XFL may add jersey patches with sponsor logos. For the love of football is good. For the love of money is better. This is by Pro Football Talk. I'm a big Mike Florio guy and Chris Sims. Both of them hate the XFL. It's pretty amazing. They just hate it. Although Florio said he did watch some of it this past week and actually enjoyed some of it. Pretty surprising. Via the Tampa Bay Business Journal, the XFL may be adding shoulder patches to uniforms with corporate logos. The patches would be similar to the patches on the NBA uniforms and NFL practice jerseys. The league already has been placing corporate decals on helmets, and the progressive corporate brand has appeared on XFL fields. We've all seen that. Bud Light Seltzer is a fixture of post-game celebration. I know, I've seen that, and I'm like, oh, can somebody get a Corona or a Michelob Ultra or Miller Lite in there? Because I ain't down with that seltzer action. Quote, we're testing and experimenting. We're looking for new ways to help big brands and new brands connect with football audiences, XFL President COO Jeffrey Pollock said. The XFL enters its 5th weekend with shrinking attendance and ratings numbers, while these metrics have shown signs of stabilization. Major tests are coming via March Madness and separately from the coronavirus. Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay. The XFL is heavily monitoring the coronavirus and what's going on with it because in L.A., I don't know that they declared a state of emergency. I have not been keeping up with this. Okay, we don't panic quite as much in Texas. Okay, and maybe we should, but we just don't. And so, but I've heard L.A. has done something out there, and the Wildcats play out there, right? So it has direct effect. I mean, the NFL's watching the coronavirus, but they're not playing right now. So this is getting real for the XFL too. Be interested to see, generally speaking, the best XFL attendance is always going to happen if the XFL can get a Houston game at home, a Seattle game at home, and a St. Louis Battlehawks game at home. That's going to be a big attendance number, okay? I think there's a chance they might flirt with something like 90,000 that week, all right? Because all those locations draw, and plus this past week you had Tampa at 12,000 and New York at 12,116. Now, the thing about New York, though, is I think if New York would have believed that their team and Luis Perez was going to play as well as they did, I think a lot of that in New York has to do with how poorly the team played prior to last week, particularly their quarterback play. Okay, so if they're going to be competitive, I think New York's attendance may actually go up. Going to be interested to see. DC is at home, and of course they kind of fell flat on their asses the last 2 weeks. But they had really good attendance at home the first 2 weeks. So there you have it. Look, I've got no issues with them wearing corporate patches. Make money however you have to, okay? The big thing is, as long as the games stay on Fox, they've just got such a superior television deal to the AEF that it's going to help the league. Everybody's going to be on pins and needles after the season to see if it gets a second season. We'll see. They need Fox or ESPN or both to come out and say, hey, we'll give you $50 million for blah XFL games, and Fox goes, and we'll give you another $50 million for the other XFL game. Basically the same package they got now, except they need the TV numbers to go up money-wise to fund the league. Because, yeah, college basketball doesn't draw as good a ratings as the XFL, but you're not paying any players, and you're certainly not paying 53 of them. Okay, so that's why things like college and even the NBA, you're only paying 10 guys and a coach. Okay, now their salaries are ridiculous, so it probably evens out some. And from what I understand, all the TV networks know they overpay for the NBA. I still can't figure out why. That just don't make sense to me, but they want the eyes on their network. They want to literally be able to say, we've got the NBA. And that's why they're paying so much for the NBA. If it doesn't get the ratings, don't fucking pay for it, you know? That's just my theory. You tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. XFL, Major League 2. If you're in need of a good proctologist, look out in right field. Classic line. I couldn't find it. God dang it. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.